I don't know if I could fully or even accurately ever describe how it feels to get a diagnosis like this. I think I can just say that it feels like stepping into an alternate reality. Like I walked through a portal and into another universe, and I'm still trying to catch up with the reality of that new universe, and I still haven't to this day. Hi guys, Taruri here, or the Innerspace Explorer, and this is going to be a very different video. It's going to be quite vulnerable, quite personal, hopefully not too rambly because it's completely unscripted, but this is something that I have been going through recently in the past few weeks, and something that I feel like had been building up for a very long time if I really look at my life, and now something that I am in the space that I am ready to share. So let's just get to the meat of it. Just please, first of all, disclaimers, accept my awkward laughs because that's how I deal with awkward situations or tense situations. I laugh very awkwardly. Second thing is there might be some background noise that is unavoidable. I will do my best to remove it when I'm editing, but in case it's impossible to, please just forgive me for that. And yeah, those are all the disclaimers that I have. So a few weeks ago, about 7, close to maybe 8 weeks now, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. They found a tumor in my colon that is quite advanced. And the past 6-ish weeks have been spent in treatment. And so far, I believe so good. I've lost some weight. I don't know if you can tell from my face, but I do feel positive about the journey that I'm on. I think I'm doing the very best that I can to make sure that I overcome this thing and that it doesn't take me down. Yes, so that's what I've been going through. And the reason why I want to share this, several reasons, one of them being that I want to document this journey. I really do. I want to share and I want to document it. There's no way you can go through a diagnosis like this and not come face to face with your mortality. And so one of the things that has become clear is that I really do want to contribute to humanity, and maybe sharing my journey in some way will be able to do that. And so that's one of the reasons why I want to share this. I also know the power of community more so right now, and there's something about being able to share things that has brought, every time I've done it in my life, it's brought wonderful connections with like-minded people, has made me feel less alone, has also given me the opportunity to be part of people's communities as well. So this is something that I also feel would sort of drive or pull people of the same, who are on similar journeys or think of things in a similar way. We can be able to connect and share, I guess. So I'd like to describe a little bit about how we got to this point. I won't share everything in this video because I feel like there's so much to share, and also some things I'm still processing through. Some things I think I would still like to maintain privacy around. But yeah, I can just share how did we end up here. So I have been going through a very intense transition in my life in the past few years. I was building a brand on my Instagram specifically around pleasure, and that was such a fun time. I had an amazing time with all of it. But coming to, I think it started in 2022, because of all the inner work that I was doing some really deep inner healing, and I started to notice that, which happens when you're healing, by the way, your values begin to change. The way you see the world begins to change. This is a very normal thing. And so my values began to change, and the things that mattered. And so I began to take a few steps back just to understand what I actually wanted to do, whether content creation was what I wanted to go with, because that was the direction I was heading in. Did I still want to continue making the content that I was making? Did I want to shift? And it has been a bit of a journey trying to find my feet with that. Also, at the same time, I was going through changes in my career, in terms of, I left the job that I was at, and there were some personal issues that I also faced last year that were very, 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 very challenging. I had been going through a very stressful time. And because of the stress that I had been under, specifically in the past 2 years, some of the things that I was experiencing were being explained away by different things like stress. There was a time that I was getting a lot of frequent infections, and then we found that I had high cholesterol, and so we thought that maybe this was a weird symptom of that. And I was able to deal with the cholesterol and come into a healthier place. That was last year. But then I started experiencing like levels of lethargy that I hadn't experienced before. But I attributed it to the stress that I was going through, because I knew that my mental health was not in a great place. So if I felt unmotivated, like I just didn't have the energy to do things, I was thinking, it's the stress, I'm just stressed. And what I was focusing on was like, let me really like ground myself and get into a better mental space, and just hold on and get through this difficult time so that I can get through to the easier time, because I knew that, life is ups and downs, and like you go through a difficult season and then you go through a better season, and that's just how life works. So I was buckling and knuckling down just to get through the tough times. And so these things that I was experiencing, like the lethargy, also lightheadedness, occasionally I could hear my heartbeat in my ears sometimes, even when I wasn't exerting myself. I'm a fairly active person. I've been most of my adult life. And I could feel like as much as I was working out, my fitness was not building in the same way that it used to. But this again, I attributed to age, because I turned 40 this year. So I was like, it's just, the natural aging process. So all these things were happening. Oh yes, and then there was also the fact that I was getting very pale. And again, I explained this away by I'm kind of isolated because I'm stressed, and so I'm not going out as much as I used to. So then the color of my skin is light because I'm indoors more. Not knowing that all of these things were pointing to something way serious than I thought. So what had happened was in August this year, 2025, towards the end of August, I developed what I thought was food poisoning, and went to the hospital to get treatment for it. Thankfully, my doctor is very thorough, and so rather than just treat the symptoms, she likes to look at the causes, and she did a full hemogram to look at my blood and saw that I was anemic. Like my hemoglobin levels were really, really, really low. So that, caused a bit of alarm, and she was like, something is going on. And in this moment, I'm just like in pain, cramping, I haven't eaten, I'm weak, I'm dehydrated. She's coming to ask me questions about like, have you noticed blood when you go to the bathroom and all these other things? And I'm like, could you just give me the meds, please? Could you just give me the medication so that I could get out of here? I had no idea that she had seen something that was pointing to something else. And so she did eventually, because we tried, she asked me some questions, but nothing, I couldn't give answers to, nothing that I said was reason enough for my hemoglobin to be that low. And then she looked at my hands and was like, how long have you been this pale? And I was like, I haven't even, I thought I was just light. So she sent me home with medication, but also with a promise that I would come back for more tests. I didn't even have to wait long because the next day things got much worse. And this time the pain localized to my lower right side of the abdomen. And, you know, in my mind, because I was remembering biology, and I was like, what side is the appendix? So I really thought that it was my appendix. And turned out that it wasn't. After several tests and eventually a CT scan, they found a tumor that is quite advanced in size. And so then I got the diagnosis. And it was a strange experience because nothing could have prepared me to hear that. The kind of tumor that I have is the kind that just sort of silently grows over time, and you will not know until it shows itself, or if by chance you're just like, let me just do a colonoscopy, which I wish I had done. But yeah, it showed up when it showed up, and there was really no way of knowing. And so that was super shocking. And it's also, it clarifies things. Something like this really clarifies things. And but sometimes when you sit and you imagine, like, what would happen if, I'm sure all of us do that. You just sort of imagine scenarios and you're like, how would I handle this and how would I handle that? I had ideas of what I would do or how I would feel or what I would say when it came to dealing with a diagnosis like this. And I am here to tell you, like I'm sure so many other people have said, you don't know until you're in the situation, because things that I didn't think mattered to me matter very much now, or things that I thought I'd be able to do or say in this moment are not things that even like make sense right now. And I can give an example, which is like, I always thought that, I would just be like, this is my journey. This is what I'm going to do. I'm making this decision and I'm not factoring in anybody else. Yeah, that's not how this works. I have quickly realized that for me, and I'm sure for anybody who, like, family really matters. And by family, I'm not just talking about your blood relatives. I'm also talking about your chosen family. And seeing the impact of this, not just on me, but on their lives. On top of that, also feeling just how much I love them, clarified for me how much they mean to me, and made me understand that this is not a personal journey. It is my journey, but there are so many other people who are impacted by it, for better or for worse. And so divorcing my desires from theirs is something that cannot happen fully, even though it is true that it's my journey, my choices, and my family has been really amazing in supporting me in the choices that I have made, allowing me the space to choose what's best for me. But yeah, you realize you're not an island. None of us are. And it's an illusion that we attempt to create. The other thing that has really clarified is what matters, like what actually matters. Then that has been such a blessing because it has distilled down to the purest form, the way, the values that I have, the things that matter in my life, the things that I want to do, how I want to contribute. That's the beautiful thing about something like this, is that it takes you into a place of such clarity. It also let me know, because especially in the past couple of years when I was going through really stressful times, there were times when I was just like, imagine, I'm ready. Father, take me now. I'm so ready to go. But then now, coming to the understanding that I actually am not ready to go. I want to be here for as long as I possibly can. And I want to see as much of my family and my friends. I want to witness their lives. And with their things that now, the things that I desired that were real and authentic, I desire them even more, and I want to be here to have them. So that's been the beautiful part about this, is that the clarity that has come with it has been amazing. Also understanding who my people truly are, and again, for better and for worse, because my people have shown up. And also seeing that some people cannot walk this journey with me, and it's okay. That has been really interesting, and I can't wait to dive into that even more. So I generally, a lot has changed. A lot has changed in a really, really, really short time. My life has been flipped over, and in many ways, everything is completely different. Even the way that I'm living is completely different. And there are some things about that I can't wait to share. I have also chosen to do this in a very intentional way, supporting myself in a very holistic way. So in the way that I'm eating, in the way that I'm moving, even as I'm doing the treatment, it's very, very intentional. And thank God I'm also working with doctors that are also willing to include that in my care. And I feel very positive. Obviously, as I said, you can't go through something like this and not face your mortality and question, is this the exit point? And also try and mentally prepare for that reality. I genuinely don't feel like, when I feel into my intuition, into my bones, I don't feel like this is my exit. But you can't know, because life is life and some things are so out of our control. So I still have to create room for that and understand that I need to prepare myself if this is the exit point. And whether it is or not, it doesn't change the way that I'm showing up every single day to the best of my ability. I also have things that I want to do that have been pushed into the forefront of my life. I can no longer sit back and use excuses. I have to do what I have to do, and that is also a blessing in a way. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share for today. This is not a hopeless situation, and by no means am I hopeless. I am actually so full of hope, it's a bit ridiculous. And I have my moments. I have moments. I have tough days. I have days when I feel like I still don't understand, and there are days when I feel like I just don't want to do this. I really don't want to be here. But then I just have to remind myself that I am here and nothing is changing that. So when I cannot change the circumstances, then the only thing that I can change is the way that I relate to the circumstances. And I can do that by focusing on the good stuff and the meaningful stuff and what needs to be done today. How do I want to show up today? What can I do to make myself feel better? What beautiful thing can I expose myself to? Who can I talk to? Which friend can I lean on? So those are the things that are keeping me grounded. Yeah. So one last thing is I am actually collecting contributions for my medical care. And please, no pressure. If you are able to, if you are willing to, I will share the link for my Changa and also my till number, my personal till number, and you can use either or if you're able to. My goal is also to create something, a kind of product that I can be able to sell, which could also contribute, because I feel like for me it would feel so much better if I'm giving something in exchange for the contribution. So that is something that I'm looking forward to. Also, there's a project that I'm working on with my sister that we will unleash in the very near future. This was step one, to get us to now start to release the project. And I will also ask for your support when the time comes when we launch it, and I'll really, really appreciate that. So if you're watching this on Instagram, you can check out my link tree for the M Changa link. On YouTube, I'll put it on the description. TikTok, I'll also put it in the description, and the link tree. And also, you can just make your donation directly to my till number. I'd really, really, really appreciate it. Other than that, just your support, your prayers, a word of encouragement, a meme, something silly, I don't know, anything, even just a thumbs up would be a wonderful way to just boost me and boost my morale. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your presence here. I look forward to sharing so much more. I hope we have a very long journey of so much together. And I just also want you to remember, above everybody else, you deserve your own unconditional love and acceptance. I'll see you soon.